And it's a fantastic program. It's an all-American program, kind of all-American program. I mean, there's music of Dvorak, he's not American, and there's music of Erich Wolfgang Korngold, and he was born in Austria. But we are starting with Leonard Bernstein. He's American. We're going to play his 3 dance episodes from On the Town, which was originally a musical on Broadway, and then it was turned into a movie in 1949, starring Frank Sinatra and Gene Kelly. And so we're going to play 3 dance episodes from that score. Bernstein, I think, had a unique gift. He was able to occupy in his music that very thin slice of overlap between classical music, jazz, and pop. Not many people can find a comfortable space in there, but he manages to do it. So he has this complete command and control over pop music vernacular and jazz vernacular, and he has the discipline of classical composers. It's kind of an extraordinary set of skills and talents. So we're starting with that. And then music of Erich Korngold. Right, okay, Erich Korngold was born in Austria and was a prodigy on the level of Mozart. So when he was 11, he wrote a full-length ballet for the Vienna State Ballet called The Snowman, which still gets played, and it's extraordinary and does not sound like the music of any 11-year-old I know. So he was writing concert music, doing this thing, creating this sound world that was Korngold's world. And then he immigrated to this country where he became a citizen, escaping political tensions in Europe. He ended up in Hollywood, and he got connected with the movies. And he started writing scores for movies that sound just like his concert music. And it happened to be a great fit for what Hollywood needed then. And he wrote all of these scores for Errol Flynn swashbuckling movies, things like Captain Blood, The Seahawk, Jane Eyre, Much Ado About Nothing. Oh, they're piling won an Oscar for it. I mean, it's really extraordinary. But what's amazing to me is that he just wrote music. It was like his language. He didn't make any real modifications. And so when he continued writing his concert music, not for the movies, like the violin concerto we're going to play, it just sounds like movie music. But that's because Korngold invented that movie music sound, that sound that we wouldn't have John Williams without. Really set the standard for what epic Hollywood scores should sound like. Okay, then after intermission, we've got Dvorak's New World Symphony. It's his 9th symphony, the 9th of 9. And Dvorak was not American, but he did spend time in America. He spent a couple of years in New York running a music school. Incredibly interesting, because this woman named Jean Thurber, a philanthropist, started this music school in New York, which she wanted to be open to everyone, regardless of their economic or social status. And this was like well over 100 years ago, and sounds like a very contemporary value now. And Dvorak loved the idea. So Jean approached Dvorak, said, "Would you do this?" He said, "Yes, I don't speak any English." She said, "That's fine." He went to New York and he ran this music school. And while he was in this country, he fell completely in love with American culture, particularly African-American spirituals, and the culture, the music, and the lore of Native Americans. And he wanted to write an opera based on Longfellow's Hiawatha, but he couldn't get a reasonable libretto. But he wrote a lot of pieces while he was in this country, and they all have some reflection of these loves of his that he discovered. And the 9th Symphony, the New World Symphony, is one of those pieces. And all over the place, you'll hear references to American music, from syncopated tunes to kind of what feel like almost direct quotes of spirituals, like Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. And then he does really remarkable things. So in the second movement, there's this gorgeous tune, and it sounds like a spiritual. He invented the tune, but it sounds like a spiritual. You'd all recognize it. Maybe 20 years later, it was turned into a spiritual. Someone put words to it. That's how well Dvorak was able to assimilate the spiritual vernacular and create his own. So it's a wonderful kind of love letter to America. So that's why it's an all-American program, even though it's not by all Americans. So hope you join us. It'll be great.